Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to begin and finish chapter 7 in part 3 of our book, Power of the Magdalene, written by Stuart Wilson and Joanna Prentis. And this one is titled Akhira. In July 2006, Isabel Zaplana and Michael Schaefer from Burgess Hill in Sussex came to visit us to do a combined past life session. Isabel and Michael have strong links with the channeling source Cryon. Ooh, I wasn't expecting to see his name in here. If any of you know who Cryon is, it is somebody, I don't know if an entity is a good word, but he says he's Cryon from Magnetic Service, and Lee Carroll channels Cryon and has been for 40 years or so. And he does have a channel on YouTube and is pretty well known for people that like this kind of content. If you've never heard of him, you should definitely check him out. He has a lot of material and a lot of videos on YouTube. And their work with gematria dietary supplements takes them all over the world. So they have strong links with the source Cryon and their work with gematria or gematria. And these are dietary supplements, never heard of them, but this work takes them all over the world. After they were both taken back to a past life in the Middle East about the time of Jeshua, the first part of the session concentrated on Michael's experience as a teacher. While Michael's process moved quickly through a whole cycle of experience and release, Isabel took longer to feel her way into that life. But when she did connect with this energy, much new information emerged. We join her at the point where the session has just started moving forward quickly for her. Isabel: I have the feeling that half of my body is buried in warm sand, and I'm very relaxed. I think it's more like a training or a healing. Joanna: is there one person healing you or a group? Isabel: a group, yes. Joanna: and what is your name? There was a little difficulty in focusing on the exact sound of the name, but this is what eventually emerged. Isabel says, Akhira, a spiritual name given to me as part of the training. Later we found that her original name had been Rachel. Now that Akhira has identified herself, we will use that name. She pronounced it with the long E sound as Akhira. Joanna: do you feel you're in a community? Akhira: yes. Joanna: can you tell me anything about this community? Akhira: they're very loving and there's a very strong feeling of unity, of family. I feel very comfortable, very relaxed. It's part of the work we're doing together. Joanna: tell me about this work. Akhira: we're improving ourselves, not only for ourselves. We have a mission, and we have to be healed and trained. We heal people and we heal places. The others are more advanced than me. Joanna: is the training in expansion of consciousness? Akhira: it's like healing and training to become more advanced. We have a role as healers. I am a woman and I'm preparing for something important on a spiritual level. I receive very much attention from the others. They are interested in how I grow and progress. I'll have a specific role. I don't know exactly what yet. I'm young. We discovered later in the session that Akhira was about 17 years old at this time. Akhira: they know what is going on and they are happy and treat me lovingly. They smile. Joanna asked Akhira about Michael's role in this life, and she replied, he is older than me. He is a teacher called Benjamin and is not married. Joanna: can you describe the place where the community is? Akhira: it's grouped around a temple and it's very spiritual. I think it's in Egypt. I am from Israel, but I have been brought here for training. Joanna: would that be Alexandria? Akhira: yes, it's the highest place for this kind of training. Joanna: in Egypt, you would not be so noticed as you would be in your homeland? Akhira: yes, there's more freedom here for this kind of work, more acceptance. In Israel, it's all hidden. Israel is dangerous, so they have sent me here. I need this training and I need to be safe, and I'm not safe in Israel. But I will have to work there. We all have to do our work in Israel. Joanna, did you know Benjamin from your time in Israel? Akhira, yes, I know him from Israel. He's known to my parents. He's older, more like my parents in age. He's a friend of the family and he knows very much. He's important inside the group. Joanna, did you ever meet Joshua? Akhira, yes. Joanna, how do you remember him? Akhira, he came to visit us. He knew I was doing my training. I'm younger than he is. He has a very good contact with children. He's so loving. He jokes with us. He's very relaxed. Joanna, did you ever meet Mary Magdalene? Akhira, yes. She cared about us and she came to see us. She's older, but she's gone through a process and she's now very experienced and she's like a big sister. She's very respected and known to be very much of the light. She's caring for us. She comes to see how we are. There is a very strong connection. She comes alone. She's not with Joshua now. I've never seen them together. Interesting. Joanna, but you've heard they were together. Akhira, yes, I've heard. Yes, they say she's with Joshua. She's a very high being. Okay, so I like how this information is very concurrent. It's very consistent with what they hear from other people who none of these people know each other, but they hear very consistent information from the people they interview regarding Mary Magdalene and regarding Joshua. Joanna, was there a spiritual marriage between Mary Magdalene and Joshua? Akhira, we knew they were together. Joanna, they're both very high initiates. Akhira, yes, and we're a bit nervous when she comes, but she's very natural, like a friend, a confidant. We're very close because we know the same things. We've done the same training. Joanna, so she's like a spiritual mentor to you. Akhira, yes, she knows what we know, and this makes us very close. We are like her group of students. It feels as if we are her girls. It is a very peaceful moment. She's very relaxed and happy to see us. She's not staying here, but she's coming to visit us. She doesn't do specific training or ceremony with us. We don't speak very much. It's very telepathic. Joanna, so it's an exchange of energies? Akhira, yes, we sit together in a garden, but we don't have to tell her our experiences or about our practices because she has done that and she knows exactly what we're feeling. Joanna, how many are in this group being trained? Akhira, 4. I'm the youngest and I make 5. In Alexandria, I am the last to be prepared to complete the group. This training is important for the group. Joanna, did Mother Mary come to visit your group? Akhira, she was in charge of us, not always there, but she was supervising everyone. She came to see that everything was all right. This is very interesting because in the Christ letters, Jesus talks about his mother's fear and disapproval of the Messiah that he was clearly becoming when he first returned from the desert and started telling her who God really was and what he was really about. She was very leery. And even though she loved him, she knew that he couldn't stay there because it was, people would think, oh, you're speaking nonsense. They already thought you were a little off your rocker before, but you're really going to get yourself into trouble now. So she loved her son, but it took her a while to let go of her own beliefs, which were shared by most of the community, to actually start to shift her belief system and work with Jesus and help him. Okay. I'm sorry, my daughter's on the phone. And now I lost my place. Okay. She came to see that everything was all right. Joanna, was your family in contact with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary? Akhira, yes, they knew all of us in the community. When I was chosen for the training, everyone in the community knew what it was all about. And of course, my parents knew. Joanna, so it was an honor for your family. Akhira, yes, it was something very special. Joanna, were you one of Jeshua's female disciples? Akhira, yes, I was one of the group of Mary Magdalene. Joanna, how did you perceive the difference between the two Marys, Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary? Akhira, Mary Magdalene is more loving, more relaxed. Mother Mary is more serious. She has a bigger responsibility. Mary Magdalene is natural and loving and relaxed. That sounds about right from the personality that Jesus explained to us about in the Christ letters. A very serious, loving, but very serious, more stern in her show of love. Joanna, did you sense that Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene were working as part of a team? Akhira, yes, they work as part of the team, but they're different. Each has her role, each has her own task, and they are preparing us. Joanna, and Mary Magdalene is 10 years or so older than you? Akhira, yes, between 10 and 15 years older. Joanna, so your training, it took how long? Akhira, the training in Alexandria was the final part of instruction. I had been trained before in Israel, and then I went to Alexandria, and that was the final training before the ceremony. And later, I went with Benjamin back to a community in Israel, and we stayed there. Joanna, the ceremony, was it in Isis initiation in Alexandria? Akhira, yes, I saw golden pyramids and a big gold triangle. Couldn't see all round me during the ceremony. I was lying on a bed shaped like a pyramid, with the top of it cut off so it had high sides. And there was a priestess conducting the ceremony, and behind me there were golden Egyptian carved figures. Joanna, would Mary Magdalene have gone through a ceremony like this too? Akhira, yes, she had the same training as we had. Joanna, but Mother Mary had come through a different training? Akhira, she had gone through a similar training too, but it was not here at Alexandria. I feel closer to Mary Magdalene than to Mother Mary. Maybe it's because Mother Mary is older. Mary Magdalene is our confidant. She shares the same knowledge. She is like a big sister. Comment by Stuart. What emerges from this is the warm and affectionate side of Mary Magdalene when she was with groups of women, training in the same Isis tradition. The answer to the question about female disciples was particularly interesting. We shall return to the female disciples of Jeshua later, but here Akhira is saying that some of these disciples were being taught and guided by Mary Magdalene. In delegating the role of teacher and mentor in this way, Jeshua was acknowledging that Mary Magdalene was advanced enough to have disciples of her own, something that puts her into quite a new context as a teacher of major stature. This information is important because it goes so far beyond what we have in biblical record and starts to build up a much more impressive picture of Mary Magdalene as a high initiate. During March 2007, Isabel and Michael returned for a second session with us. After Isabel was taken back to her life as Akhira, Joanna asked her to explore the knowledge she had at that time through her contact with Mary Magdalene. Akhira, so much love, such a close relationship. It's like coming home. The energy connection with Mary Magdalene was so powerful for Isabel at this point that she needed to pause and breathe deeply before she could continue. Akhira, I feel Mary Magdalene. I feel her energy. I feel her closeness. I feel at home. We're always connected, but now we're together. Joanna, she was your major teacher, wasn't she? Akhira, yes, we loved each other so much. We were so close. We were always together. That's lovely. Joanna, were you together from a very early age? Akhira, yes, she was my teacher, my sister, my friend. We were such a strong team, such a close team. Joanna, yes, and you had to be, didn't you? Akhira says yes. Joanna, who were you named after as Akhira? Akhira says, they call me Princess. Stuart, then perhaps Akhira was the name of a princess. Akhira, they call me Princess, that's true. Comment by Stuart. In the modern world, it is unusual for any country to have more than one royal family, but the situation in Israel 2,000 years ago was quite different. During that period, the leaders of several of the tribes tried to maintain some outward signs of royal or quasi-royal status. Hence, in the Israel of that time, the title princess was more widely used than its modern equivalent in Europe. The session continues. Joanna, I feel the people around you really looked up to you. They recognized your light. Akhira, I'm still a child at this point. Everybody loves me. It's so easy. Everybody loves me and I love everybody. It's total joy, total happiness, total peace. Yes, they call me Little Princess. Our lives are not at all ceremonial. They enjoy life and play with me. Joanna, how old were you when you went to the place of learning? Akhira, I was small when I went there. Joanna, what did you need to learn? Akhira, I need to learn the ceremonies. I have to learn to do the ceremonies with the others, how to present it. It's like choreography. I have to learn the outer things of the ceremonies, how to do it, how to prepare, who does what, the steps I take, and the clothes I wear. Joanna, so would you like to talk about one of the ceremonies and what you wear? Akhira, I have this golden hair to put on and a golden robe, and I carry a box. Joanna, what's in the box? Akhira, it's closed. The shape of the lid is like the roof of a house, and it's golden with some decorations. During the ceremony, people will open it and take something out. But now I'm rehearsing, and I don't know what's inside the box. They're training me in how to carry the box. Joanna, let's go a little forward to the point where you find out what's in the box. Akhira, it's gold powder, and during the ceremony, the priests eat some. The ceremony consecrates the powder, and then each priest gets some. They are all in the same kind of clothes that I have, made out of golden cloth, and gold on their heads. The women have special makeup on their faces, and everybody looks beautiful. Joanna, I understand that Ethereum gold was used to expand the consciousness. Akhira, yes, there were 3 kinds of this gold. Comment by Stuart. Ethereum gold, also called monatomic gold, is a trace mineral that occurs naturally in ancient mineral deposits. It takes the form of a powder with unusual electromagnetic and superconductive properties. Ethereum gold is also reputed to have remarkable abilities to release energies at the cellular level, energize the body, and transform the DNA. Ancient Egyptian texts talk of using white powder of gold to nourish the light body. And that's capital L, the light body. The session continues. Joanna, and what was Michael's role at that time? Akhira, he was one of those who organized the ceremony. Joanna, you said there were 3 kinds of gold. Could you tell us about that? Akhira, in this moment, in this ceremony, I don't take it. I just bring it to the others. The young girls and the priestesses take the white gold powder. There is also a more brown powder and a more golden one. All the young ones take the white one. During this session, Michael had been tuning into this shared life, and he was able to add some detail at this point. So now we're going back and forth with Michael. Michael, it was the educational level. The first one was to sustain the body and ground it. The second powder was to connect with the light and happiness. Joanna, so the brown powder connected you with joy? Michael, and the third golden one was for release. Akhira, the men on the left side, they take the brown one. Joanna, so you have to step up the frequencies until you get more advanced, starting with the white powder and moving on eventually to the gold one? Akhira, yes, I take the gold one, but not in the ceremony. If it's a ceremony for me only, I take it, the golden one. Joanna, and this is when you're a little bit older? Akhira, yes, when I'm 11 or 12. Joanna, so when you were younger, you took the white powder and graduated to the gold one? Akhira, yes, I take it regularly in a ceremony only for myself, maybe weekly. I don't know exactly what it does. They don't tell me everything. Joanna, can you imagine you've taken some of the golden powder? What has happened? Akhira, I take a teaspoon of powder and dissolve it in my mouth. It's energy. It's holding the body. It goes into the head. Joanna, my sense is that it's clearing the energy so you can remain as light and pure as possible. Akhira, yes, it releases blockages all over the body. Then the body feels the golden light, like the light body, very strong and golden. And it lasts. It's meant to last all day to keep the energies charged. We were able to ask Alariel in a separate session about the use at that time of Ethereum gold. And this was his response. Alariel, Ethereum gold was valued throughout the mystery schools of the Middle East, but it was in Egypt that it was used with the greatest understanding and precision. A whole technology surrounding its use developed within the Egyptian mystery school tradition, and that use was carefully controlled. The Egyptians saw it primarily as a means of strengthening the link with the light body, also called the Merkaba. This is the vehicle of ascension, but as a prelude to this work, it also acted to purify the subtle levels within the body-mind link. This was a key to passing safely and swiftly through the process of enlightenment and ascension. In this way, it became a vital tool supporting the whole work of accelerating and uplifting human consciousness. Comment by Stuart. Ascension is an advanced stage of human evolution in which the aspirant raises his or her vibration and merges with the light. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there that claim that they're in ascension. It's very difficult to do. There's a lot of people on Instagram and on YouTube, specifically Instagram. I notice a few people that have a lot of followers, and they'll post something like, oh, what do you think? Is this your last life? And here's the checklist so you know how. And of course, you have 500,000 people who say it's their last life. Myself, I'm a little less inclined to there's so much that you have to do in order to not come back. It just seems like very kitschy to me, or very grabby to get comments and likes. So you have to be really careful with these people out here that are claiming to know the secrets. And yes, some of them do, and then some of it might be true, but you really have to practice discernment. All right, the session continues. Akhira, it is in the future that I will do what my mission is, but at the moment, I'm living here with all these wonderful people and doing the ceremonies with the powder. Joanna, do you have any sense of what your mission is yet? Akhira, I have the power of doing things. They know it will be very important. They are preparing me for this. I see the image of another ceremony, and there I am standing very decorated and with something large and golden around the head. This time I am presiding the ceremony like a priest, and they bring offerings, food and incense and candles and gold. When they bring this to me, they're asking me, or asking the universe through me, that something can be done. I can bring information through and do ceremonies, and I do some signs with my hands. I'm doing a language with my hands and talking to them on a telepathic level, giving information and giving instructions. And there's an information beam through my third eye. It's a ceremony that takes place regularly. Everybody here is very advanced. It's all priests and priestesses. Joanna, so what's the purpose of all this telepathic communication? Are you preparing for something? Akhira, yes, we are preparing, and I'm giving instructions saying what needs to be done and exactly what's going to happen. It's something very special that will involve all of us working together. I'm soon going to leave here, and I'm leaving them with instructions. I'm traveling to where it's going to happen. I'm not staying in this temple. This will be the last time I talk to them today. Everybody is very well prepared, a very strong team. Joanna, what is your mission in this new place? Akhira, I have to stay very close to what is going to happen. Carry an energy inside me that needs to be present. It's one part of the process that the energy I carry needs to be there. I'm supporting what's going to happen. Joanna, so what is happening? Akhira, Mary Magdalene knows that, but I just carry this energy, and that is going to help her. Joanna, she needs the support of a team because she has a big job ahead of her. Just checking what we have left. All right. Akhira, yes, she and Jeshua have to do this. I am in different clothes already, and we are in Israel. I stay most of the time with Mary Magdalene. I am her support, her assistant. I am holding her energy, recharging her, and on the outer side, helping her with all kinds of other things. But it's not really the outer work I do that is important. It's the inner work. I'm always with her. We go here and there together. She meets with different people all the time. She's very busy and she's nervous. Joanna, because she knows she's taken on a big job. Akhira, yes, we go to these meetings, just the two of us. She's talking to different people and I go with her. Joanna, do you remember her first meeting with Jeshua? Did they grow up as children together? Akhira, yes, they were meant to be together. They recognized each other. He knew, Mary knew, Mother Mary knew, I knew. The other group, the apostles, didn't understand everything. They were on a different level. Joanna, because they had to do more of the outer work? And Akhira says yes. Comment by Stuart. Our next question focuses on the core group, a secret inner group within the Essene Brotherhood, which supported the work of Jeshua. There is a chapter on the core group in our first book, and that would be the Essene's Children of the Light. I feel more and more that I definitely need to read that to you guys. It's not that you can't understand this, but it's like building on this huge story, and each book is a piece of that story. And having the full picture, well, that's always welcome if you can get it. Akhira, the core group had a very strong energy. Oh, no, wait, let me back up. Joanna, I understand that the core group held a lot of the knowledge, and it's like circles going out. The further you are from the core group, the less knowledge you would have. Akhira, the core group had a very strong energy. Joanna, and that energy radiated out? Akhira, yes, it's like a fractal, an energy field going out and interacting all together. It's very complex levels of energy, fields of energy that have geometrical patterns so that all the levels interact all with each other, layers of different patterns. Joanna, so it's essential that all the layers are functioning. Akhira, yes, you can't take one layer away. This whole system is like a geometrical pattern, so if you take a piece out, it wouldn't be complete anymore. Joanna, it's holographic, isn't it? Akhira, yes. And the energetic fields, which have geometrical patterns, are not only in the third dimension. Stuart, they are multidimensional? Akhira, it's in all dimensions, but they interact, and this creates a huge energy that is there in these groups and all their work. Stuart, so it's a complete energy system? Akhira, yes, on many levels. Joanna, so it's like lattice work? Akhira, yes, exactly like a lattice. If you see it from the outside, it feeds into all different directions and dimensions. Joanna, a holographic web? Akhira, a holographic spider's web, exactly. And the fields make patterns in greens, blues, violets, so you can see the shape. They are not solid, they are energy fields. But you can still see the shape, and they have different textures of blues and a little bit metallic, iridescent, and crystalline. It's a system on its own, almost a universe on its own. Stuart, what is feeding through this system? Is it energy or information? Akhira, most of it is information. The interaction is mostly information. It's patterns, it's information. Joanna, so much of the information is contained in the pattern which the person picks up telepathically? Akhira, yes, the groups meet, but much of the work is done telepathically. Joanna, so these lines are used to send telepathic signals. Akhira, yes, it's a system that's working well. Joanna, a language of light which will come back to our planet for us to remember. Akhira, yes, a remembering and keeping this knowledge alive, because that is all linked with the telepathic ability. The system gives information about logistics and organization, but it's the knowledge which interacts. And this is due to their having some part of their consciousness activated. Because of this activation, they can be in contact with each other and have access to many things which other humans don't have. Joanna. So it's a very sophisticated kind of network, a purer network than many of the esoteric schools at that time were able to connect to. Akhira. To tune in, you had to be on the same level, using the same intuition and having the same codes. If you don't have this level of encodement, you can't connect in. And there are a lot of people out there putting videos out on, oh, I'm going to do a light language code healing. And some of them might be legit, but again, you have to be careful. Just because you might see a light code song on the internet and, put down the lyrics, I don't know how some people come up with this, but there's a lot of people that are remembering, or you still do have to practice discernment. I feel like there's some real authentic out there mixed in with not so real and not so authentic. All right. At this point in the session, something quite extraordinary happened. Akhira begins to talk in an ancient language, very different from random speech because it contained repeating patterns and specific rhythms. Joanna, can you tell us about this language? Does it have a name? Akhira, it's a language used in Atlantis. Joanna, has it come down in its original form to the time now when you know it as Akhira, or had it changed by then? Akhira, it was a secret language by then. It was not widely used then, but certain people knew it. It was only the initiates who used this language. The vibrational power of language is very important. We did communicate telepathically, but the words had a strong vibration. So during ceremonies, it was important that the words were spoken out, and this vibration was released. And this does tie into using AI to create content like this. It's not the same. If you have to use that to create your spiritually based videos, not only is it horrible for the planet times 1,000, times many things that have come about over the last few centuries, it's also not coming through as your own vibration, as your own energy. It is not as authentic. That's a huge part of it. So that's interesting that they mention that, because I just made a little video on AI and spiritually based content and using AI to create these videos. You're undoing so much of the planet trying to help people that are watching, but you're harming all. That's my opinion on it, and it might sound harsh, but it's the truth. Look it up. There's so much research on how detrimental AI is for this planet. It will be our undoing if everybody turns to that. There's just no two ways about it. Okay. Joanna, so in remembering this knowledge, the language can come back and bring its vibration? Akhira, the vibration of the words themselves can heal at a deep level and can release blockages deep within us. So this language is healing at a very profound level. Just the vibration releases blockages. After the session, when Isabel was still in the energy of that life, she said that what Akhira was trying to say was that the vibration of this language can heal the DNA and release blockages in the DNA. Joanna, so this secret language is part of the knowledge that you had at the time of Jeshua? Isabel, yes, it's one part, but there is more wisdom from that time that we can access. There is much work to do, but we need to heal ourselves. Dissonant frequencies hold magnetic fields that are lower vibrating, and these hold all our pain and suffering and all our illnesses. We need to bring in the higher vibrating harmonic fields to create a new reality. We have been hiding this secret language and this secret knowledge for so long, and it needs to be released to do the work that needs to be done now. Comment by Stuart. This had been a remarkable session of very high energy, and it had opened up information on a very subtle level. Akhira's devotion and dedication to Mary Magdalene shines through her account. This is the real story of Mary Magdalene, not the distorted version put out by the early church fathers, who clearly had a powerful agenda and an absolute determination that women should never have leading roles in the Christian church. History has not dealt kindly with these prelates of the early church. and their reputation steadily diminishes while that of Mary Magdalene grows ever stronger. One of the most interesting things about this second session with Isabel is how much it advances the story, adding many new layers of understanding about Akhira, Mary Magdalene, and the life they shared together. The information on the ancient and powerful language was also a great gift. Any knowledge that offers the possibility of healing the DNA surely deserves our attention at a time when the journey towards wholeness is so important. We noticed that the language was described as being used in Atlantis, which suggests that this was not an Atlantean language as such, but something much older. Several ancient civilizations preserved older languages for ceremonial use, so that they were only spoken by priests or priestesses, and perhaps this is an example of that practice. Okay, so that completes chapter 7 of this book. And in the next video, we're going to discover another person by the name of Laura Clare. So as I said, there was about 7 people or so that linked together, having stories around the same time, having experience with the Essenes, Mary Magdalene, Jeshua, Joseph of Arimathea. And if you'll notice in the beginning, if you caught my very first video, we start out with a quote that says, from an Essene that was the main character in the Essenes' Children of the Light, named Daniel. He makes a comment when he's asked if the Essenes made a vow to return to Earth together at the end of the cycle. And he says that some have gone to work on higher levels, but many will return, and that old friends will recognize each other. So it's like they're still recognizing each other on a soul level, which is proof that the physical aspect of the self, it doesn't really matter. The soul knows. Our souls know when we recognize somebody that we've known before. Our souls innately know so many things without being told, without reading about it, without hearing about it. We just innately know these things. So I believe that that quote ties into the book, that this is exactly what's happening. And they're putting it all together into this amazing story. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me for this beautiful account that we've been reading together so far. And until I see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of those around you, and I love you all so very much. Bye-bye.